Yeah, I think it has started now.
Welcome to Kalanalayam Live's Inspiration Series. So today I'm so happy to introduce Mr. Vineet Saraiwala to our session. We will get to know more about him in the interview, but I'm certain that this person, Vineet, he will definitely inspire all of us by telling us more about his life and the path he took in achieving his dreams. Thank you, Vineet, for coming to our series.
Good evening, Gayatri, and the viewers. I think thank you for inviting me. And it would be a good learning for me. And I hope that I could trigger some change within people. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Vineet, what exactly is your condition
Okay.
with the eye?
Yeah. So this is so I call it. So I have a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, and as the clock keeps on ticking, my vision keeps on dipping.
Mm,
So basically it's a degenerative eye condition, in which
mm,
means that I have a constant loss of vision continuously. So I was
mm,
not born blind. I
mm,
could play cricket and ride two wheelers, and basically through luck of a doctor, my left eye got spoiled, and so I have roughly 10% vision remaining in my right eye. So yeah, this is a condition which just tells you that I think, as in Vipassana, it says that impermanence is the truth. I think this condition is very similar to impermanence, because every moment my cells keep on dying, and yeah, that is about my eye condition.
So, at what age did you get this? And you told, right, it was due to some, mistake by a doctor. So, how was the response initially when you came to know about this, especially when your brother also had this, have this condition?
Okay. So we were diagnosed, both of us were diagnosed in standard 11
Mm,
when we were nearly 16 years old.
mm,
So I hail from Jamshedpur, which is a
mm,
small town, and maybe we did not have the best doctors here.
mm,
So we came to know with another doctor in Indore about this degenerative condition,
mm,
and post that, uh, like with 3 or 4 years continuously, vision was deteriorating very rapidly. So
mm,
I vividly remember that I used to play cricket, and I loved playing cricket, watching television, and obviously I was good in studies.
mm.
But in standard 11, I think the vision sharply deteriorated, and
Mm.
it's a genetic condition.
Okay.
So one of the doctors told us that we could cure this, and in the left eye, because that was deteriorating very rapidly.
Mm,
So the doctor operated on,
mm,
and yeah, somehow the surgery did not go well, or and basically whatever vision I had, that
mm,
also had gone.
mm,
Yeah, so that was about, it happened 15 to 15 years back, and I think it took me very long to just accept my eye condition. And if you would have invited me even 3 years before to share this journey, honestly, I'm not very comfortable with it, and like still not 100% in my journey of acceptance. So but yeah, for the past 3 years, I have still learned to accept this eye condition and look at things the way it is. So yeah.
As you told, like, past 3 years. So, was there any particular incident or something that triggered you to start accepting it in a graceful manner? And
Yeah. So I'll maybe briefly share about my journey. So once my left eye was deteriorating, and the left eye, the shape got drastically reduced. So
mm,
a lot of people used to inquire about my eyes. That
mm,
is because fundamentally, I think we as society also view things of human anatomy into conventional and non-conventional things. So though
Yes.
my eye was very small, the first
Mm,
thing which people used to ask is about my eye. And
mm,
that actually triggered, and I was very depressed because of that.
mm,
And I never used to go outside the house and never
mm,
used to socialize much
mm,
because of this condition. And somehow, uh, basically, then went to uh, a college in Bangalore where I did my BBM. And but in these span of 6 7 years, my vision had deteriorated significantly. And I
mm,
obviously would require some kind of assistance. And then the beautiful talking softwares came into my life, and that actually changed me. So for me, the introduction of the talking software has led to
mm.
leading me completely independent life, like from cycling 5,000 kilometers across the
Mm.
country to running
Wow.
6 half marathons, to cracking the one of the
Great
best premier institutes, which is Indian Institute of Management,
institution.
Bangalore. So these were this was actually a small journey, but I think if the trigger you
It is
would have think, it has to be technology for me. And I
great.
think a lot of things we will explore maybe in further questions. But I think the takeaway here is, I think once you have that acceptance within you of anything,
Mm,
this
mm,
has to nothing to do with disability. For example, if there might be someone who is short height, there's someone
mm,
who might be fair, someone who
mm,
might not be fair. So the
mm,
idea is to just accept it the way it is, and you are beautiful the way you are. You don't need to change anything as such for anyone else. So I think once you get that acceptance, I think your confidence picks up and you really start living life.
great. So I'm so what to say, so happy as well as touched by listening to your journey of success. I would like to call it the journey of success. So what are the what are the adventures that you have done, and since when you started doing these adventure activities?
Oh, so actually, so since my childhood, I used to play cricket, but there has been a brief period of 10, 12 years when I did not explore any outdoor sports because of my eye
Mm,
condition, because
mm,
I realized that maybe I could never run on the roads.
mm,
Uh, so me and my brother, when we joined IM Bangalore, after that
mm,
we had stable jobs. I
mm,
used to work in a retail company, while
mm,
my brother took a career in investment banking.
mm,
And these are two professions which are considered at least unconventional for a person with visual disability.
mm.
And that
Yes.
in Bombay, living independently,
Mm,
I thought to myself that, why not I explore trekking.
mm,
And
mm.
I actually started trekking with my friends, because
Okay.
eye is just one part of your personality. There are other
Mm,
things and other senses which you can develop.
mm,
And basically, with help of my maternal uncle, I started running
mm.
on the roads. And
Great.
actually, that is the point, maybe the trigger for me,
Okay.
when the adventure started flowing through. So, and once like I got this enthusiasm about running on the roads. So
Mm.
just to tell everyone, I run through a tether. So tether is a
Okay.
simple elastic band,
Okay.
where on the one hand, I am just tied to a small elastic band with another person. I need to,
Okay.
if let's say I run fast, I need to find someone, a runner who matches my pace, like a similar
Okay.
pace. And that
Mm.
is how I run. So like it
Okay.
the idea here is, most of the solutions are already available, whether you are a person with disability or not. The idea
Mm,
is here maybe we could figure and rely on technology and these solutions to aid our life. So
great.
as I told you about my talking software, which
Ah,
through which I actually read and write and even
mm,
do complex algorithms, like let's
mm,
say whether it's mathematics or even
mm,
analytics.
mm.
So that is how this journey started. And like once running happened, then I thought that okay, let me give a shot to cycling.
Okay,
And actually my current passion is cycling.
great.
So there is a like to your viewers, the cycle is like a where two people cycle together. It's a
Okay,
tandem cycle. You would have seen it in movies. So
yeah,
that is how I cycle. And
okay.
just to put in some exciting news, I was the first person who
Oh,
took
yeah.
part in an ultra endurance cycling race, which happened from Pune to Goa, which was a race which is 643 kilometers, where people used to cycle non-stop. And yeah, that was a
Wow,
fascinating race where you were actually competing with solo cyclists, the regular
great.
cycle as you call it. And yeah, and for me, I think another fun thing in my cycling journey was I cycled the highest motorable road in the country, which is Khardungla.
Khardungla,
So
great.
you had gone from Manali to Khardungla, and that was also a brilliant journey
Great.
for me. And yeah, these adventures actually help us and help me to have rekindle my love for travel. And plus it also taught me a lot of things. And in fact, one of the key lessons
Mm,
which I learned during running or cycling
mm,
and trekking, so
mm.
I'll tell you a beautiful story which happened
Okay,
in Ladakh. So
okay.
currently, where the India-China border dispute is going on the
Yeah.
Pangong So Lake, it's a beautiful
Mm,
lake, and
mm.
I had gone to participate in Ladakh half marathon, and I was
Great.
practicing on Pangong So Lake. So Pangong
Uh,
So is nearly 13,500 feet, and I was running there. And
wow.
the thing which hit me there
Uh,
is the importance of actually gratitude, which we don't reflect. And
mm,
for me, at that height, the most important thing is your breath, like the breath which you are breathing, that you are alive.
mm,
and
mm,
and if you look at it, it is such a small realization. But
mm.
if we all think this is the only common factor between us, that we all
Yes,
breathe, and we
correct,
breathe every moment. And
correct.
other things which we all have, whether it's like our two hands, eyesight, ears, nose, legs, are all just gifts, honestly
Correct,
extras. The biggest
correct.
gift which we all have is that we are breathing every moment. and
Wow.
and that is something which I hold to till this day. And that helps me to be in gratitude for all my other senses as well as other things as gifts. Because what
Wow.
bigger joy than breathing every moment? I think that itself is a wonder of the earth and the supreme being.
Great, great. Really, really. So even though that small thing of breathing, how significant, how it all connects all of us. Great. And Vineet, like I know through my mother, I came to know about you, and I know about I have heard and read a lot about your volunteering activities or the social commitment that you show. So can you just tell about the activities that you are involved with?
Sure. uh, so actually, I think there is so much joy in volunteering, and
Mm,
I really want to tell everyone can volunteer in their own small ways. You don't need to do it under any organization or any
mm,
cause. And
mm.
and that is how I started my journey into volunteering. So
Okay.
I made retail stores accessible in the country, we realized, we have like over 130 million people with disability, and this is like the entire population of France plus Germany plus Spain put together is India's population of people with disabilities. So
Okay.
a lot of people had never entered retail stores, and why they had not entered retail stores is because the spaces were inaccessible. For example, if
Right.
we'll have stairs for a woman who is pregnant and expect her to ride the stairs, that is actually not good. Instead, let's say we have a ramp. So that is
Right.
why my friends with wheelchairs were never able to enter stores. And this happened in a lot of places. Similarly, people with visual disability never entered stores because there was no assistance. And
Okay. Correct.
after working for 3 years, we changed that, and nearly 150,000 shoppers with disability across the country were able to shop independently. And
Right.
that for me, coming from a middle class background, was such a big realization that we take a lot of things for granted. For example, if we have the power to go outside our homes, that itself is such a big privilege. If we are
Correct.
using smartphones, that itself is such a big privilege, because
Correct.
majority of people don't have smartphones or even venture outside their homes. and
Correct.
and this is what we wanted to basically bridge the gap, and a lot of the initiatives helped people to come outside their homes and independently shop in the retail stores with accessible trial room, accessible washroom. And here
Right.
is another aspect to think about. For example, obviously, the condition which I have is a suffering if you look at it at a very subtle level. But sometimes I feel that suffering is also a way to harness your energy, because I understood the value of empathy at a very, very deeper level because of my own suffering. I used to connect with people from different marginalized groups because of my suffering, and
Correct.
because of these small sufferings within me. Maybe that expression was visible outside, and that is how my journey started. But now this is about the work which I've done for the company. But let me tell you how actually small triggers help you in developing something. Like, for example, COVID hit everyone so badly, and
Correct.
that was equally bad, but I say it 10 times worse for people who were in the marginalized section. And you would have
Correct.
seen people with disabilities who were under lockdown figuring out how will they get groceries and medicines. So and imagine, this is such a the requirement is there, and the solution is itself simple. We got in 4 or 5 volunteers and started up a small initiative called Project Delhi, where
Okay.
we raised funds, and we immediately connected with different retail stores and different pharmacies, and
Okay.
got in a helpline number ready where people with disabilities used to call us, and we used to provide them rations and medicine. But
Great.
this is and again, anyone can volunteer. It was not that we set up a formal organization. Similarly, we helped a lot of people with disabilities across the country to get groceries. But this
Wow.
is just one of the stories, and I am actually very good in sharing stories. And so, but here I just wanted to tell your viewers that this was just one aspect, and how, for example, just to give you a live example of how any individual across the country can volunteer in their own ways. For example, at one point we saw that Mumbai was struggling to find crematoriums because the number of bodies were so much, there was so much waiting period, no one knew which crematorium we should go. What I did is a simple Google sheet where I got all the crematoriums listed with their name and contact details, and also put in a waiting time, which any citizen
Wow.
of Bombay could
Yeah.
fill in. Such a
Access.
simple
Yeah.
thought completely free,
Correct.
no finance required, but that helped
Correct.
few people. So
Mm.
the change actually starts with you. So, for
Correct.
example, when we had the issue of our guest workers
Mm.
who were struggling to go back home, I
Mm.
again volunteered for another organization to streamline
Mm.
and get the transportation
Mm.
for migrant workers. And for me, it was
Mm.
a lot of coordination with connecting with different people in different states for trains,
Mm.
buses,
Mm.
nodal officers, getting the passes arranged. And honestly, that was completely voluntary in nature.
Mm.
And so that is so much joy in volunteering. So coming to the last
Great.
volunteering piece, which is still going on. In fact, yesterday we had this
Uh,
small activity where a bunch of photographers with
uh,
hearing disability went to a
uh,
slum, which is the second largest slum of Bombay, and
okay.
taught them sign language and photography workshop. And a lot
Okay,
of people
great.
in the slum don't have a family photo. So what we
Oh,
essentially do is click a family photo, print it, frame it up, and give it back to them. So
wow.
the these ideas are very simple, and
Correct.
a lot of times we don't need to even think in terms of, a lot of people think that okay, these are very high
Mm.
budget things. For example, this
Mm.
workshop I'm talking about is such a
Mm.
huge
Mm.
awakening for the deaf community as well as people living in the slums, because imagine from a perspective of a child in the slum, when he sees a person with deafness teaching him photography, that actually increases the respect, and then he spreads awareness about someone who has gone through the same story as him, and he gets inspired. Similarly, for a
Correct.
person with hearing disability, it's a chance to give back to the society in some ways, and
Correct.
he feels happy about it. Like, for example, I was talking to them that how was the workshop, because they were also very nervous,
Uh,
and they told me that
okay.
the kids learned and enjoyed it, and they will also from next time cook
Wow.
food for them, because they always thought that he said the slums are so narrow, there are so many people, there is no electricity,
Mm.
they also
Mm.
struggle for food, so they
Mm.
realized someone else is suffering and connected it. I believe that the lack of
Correct.
exposure is the greatest divide in the society, and a lot
Correct.
of uh,
Mm.
disputes, wars, or even
Mm.
debates which we have is because we don't understand someone else's perspective. So yeah, that
Correct.
was just a small example to show how volunteering can be done by anyone, and these are very small yet powerful ways to
Mm.
raise awareness in our society.
Great. Actually, it's a joy speaking to you. So, like, what is success for you?
Uh, so, in fact, that's a very interesting question. In fact, when you told me that this talk is called Inspiration Talks, a lot of times, if there is a person with disability, we consider him as inspiration. And that happens in our society. Forget
Mm.
disability, but if
Mm.
someone has uh, had any adversity, we
Mm.
sometimes view them as inspiration. So if you
Correct.
look at this lens, I
Mm.
look at disability for a change. We either
Mm.
view them as more humans, right? That okay, people with disability, they have a great sixth sense. I can hear very well, and I have
Mm.
some extra powers, and I also
Mm.
am a gift of God. And how
Mm.
let's say a lot of people in the government call them Divyang, which is
Mm.
actually a derogatory term if you look at it,
Mm.
because no
Mm.
one is divine in a very fundamental way, or everyone is
Mm.
divine in that same aspect. So there is nothing
Okay.
special about disability. So we
Mm.
either view people as more humans or less humans.
Mm.
You would have seen that people with
Okay.
disabilities are called as from a sympathetic lens, they cannot do anything, what will
Mm.
they do in life.
Mm.
The notion
Mm.
is to flip this
Mm.
lens from a more human and a less human lens to a human lens.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was a small thought. But now coming to your
Uh,
question, Gayatri, which is what does
uh,
success mean to me?
uh,
Honestly, for me, when I was in IIM Bangalore, so IIM
Mm.
Bangalore is a very competitive place with people fighting for marks, getting the best
Mm.
companies, looking at the
Mm.
pay packages, always
Mm.
thinking that, let's say they want to become the CEO of a different
Mm.
companies, head the firm,
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
get the maximum pay package. So I was
Mm. Mm.
also actually very competitive, and
Mm.
but for me, if you would have asked me when after my IIM Bangalore, I would have said that success means money to me. But today, a lot of things have changed for me in this journey after I started volunteering. I think success for me is just if I can just be in gratitude in every moment, like this,
Mm.
as I'm talking to you. I don't think I need
Mm.
anything as such, and I follow minimalism to the maximum extent so that every money which I save actually goes
Mm.
to society in some way. And I think for me, it's
Wow.
about making some difference to people's life, and if I'll be able to
Great.
contribute more, I think that would give me joy.
Great. Great. Actually, so is there any particular incident which you can narrate which has touched you a lot, like someone whom you have helped has come back to you and you have felt really good about it? Your work has changed
No,
someone's life.
so
Is there any
I
incident?
think so. First thing, I clearly believe that we all are just an instrument of service.
Mm.
If you look, I was looking at this movie, The Man Who Knew Infinity, and
Mm.
which is on Srinivas Ramanujan.
Yeah, Ramanujan.
Imagine he's such a famous mathematician, one of the
Mm.
greatest mathematicians India has ever produced. And he
Correct.
says that, we don't invent any formulas. These
Mm.
formulas have already been invented by God. We just
Correct.
discover these equations, and
Correct.
we can always be the medium but never the light. So if you look at that in this
Mm.
notion of service,
Mm.
this one of the incidents which deeply changed me is, so we had three teachers from Bangalore
Mm. Mm.
who taught us on Skype, and that
Mm.
is how we got into the prestigious institution IIM Bangalore. And these
Okay.
three teachers used to every day teach us on Skype because we had lost our eyesight. We did not know how to
Mm.
handle such a tough competitive exam. We
Mm.
did not know about the
Mm.
talking software. We also
Mm.
did not know how will we navigate this entire
Mm.
thing, because
Mm.
losing sight suddenly uh,
Mm.
is something which is not so easy, because let's
Correct.
say you are able to see movies and suddenly you are not able to see movies, or
Yes, very
even watch
true.
cricket, or even ride two wheelers. And these three teachers actually helped us and helped
Mm.
us crack common entrance, common aptitude test. And for me, I think that, and when we asked these three teachers their fees, they said that this is
Mm.
just an act of a gift from our side.
Mm.
So if you
Super.
look at it, and now that actually gift is actually a responsibility to pay it forward to so many people whom I can. So for
True.
me, some some of the incident, for example, is about Quiet Hour, which I am very extremely proud. Actually, proud is also one of the negative aspect, but I'll just tell you. So Quiet Hour, what we introduced is where the sound, light, trolley movement were reduced in
Mm.
stores, and
Okay.
this is done for people with autism. And
Mm.
autism, if you know, like people were afraid of stairs, a lot of people hand flap, and they had
Mm.
never entered the retail stores. And
Mm.
when we did this simple thing of reducing light, sound, and sensitization of our teams,
Mm.
15,000 people with autism entered our retail stores. And if
Wow.
you think it, a lot of people will think that people with autism cannot enter stores and shop on their own. And for me, the joy was when I saw a lot of people with autism learning shopping and doing shopping independently. So I
Great.
think that was something which was very beautiful to me.
And one question, like, how do you feel? How important is the financial stability of someone struggling like this?
Uh, so uh, again, coming back, honestly, I was privileged, and
Mm,
financial stability. I feel that a lot of things, though, like we have initially, because of disability, sometimes financial stability gets affected. There is no doubt about it, because being a person with disability, it might be a double whammy for the families. But a lot
mm,
of things, technology is a very big
mm,
equalizer here. So
mm,
I was privileged in some ways, that I did not need to actually have that struggle of financial as such.
mm,
But
mm,
having said that, I and my brother were actually independent from day when our vision started deteriorating, and we never
mm,
thought that situations will come where we need to basically ask from our parents. But see, there is a very big psychological booster, which is
mm,
the safety net in people, because
mm,
there is a fallback option, so that gives you
mm,
that flexibility. But to
mm,
people listening, I think now with education, I think education is one of the biggest equalizers for anyone.
mm,
And I think it
mm,
also works on your abilities. And plus,
mm,
if you have the exposure, for example, I came to know about the screen reader software, lol. So let me tell you, like, any blind person can use a smartphone and a computer, and I'm very sure a lot of
mm,
people will go amused, okay, oh, blinds can use a smartphone, or live
mm,
independently, or even cycle 5,000 kilometers, or do an MBA from a
mm,
premium institute. So a
mm,
lot of these things people can never think of. But
mm,
to people listening, in fact, forget disability. I think a lot of times, I think we need to do our best, and I think forget
mm.
the rest, as a lot of people have said. So yeah, that is my thought here.
So, what are the apps that have helped you? Because that might help a lot of people.
Yeah, so on the computer, to be specific, JAWS, Job Access with Speech, is a screen
Mm,
reader, and
mm,
NVDA is another screen reader, which is open source and completely free of cost for any blind person. Anyone can
mm,
download it free of cost and
mm,
start using it on the computer, as well
mm,
as on the phone. Again, there is a software called, if you are using a iOS phone, VoiceOver is there, and if you are using TalkBack on Android, you can use TalkBack. So these are the two primary softwares with which
mm.
anyone can use their phone, and as well as computers, independently. So I
Okay.
think this might be helpful. And just to give
Yeah.
you a perspective, a lot of these innovations which we see have
Mm.
actually come because of disability. For example, let me tell you, the typing
Mm,
prediction which you use was
mm.
never meant for us. It
Oh,
was actually meant for people with learning disability.
okay.
For example, the SMS which we use was actually
Mm.
invented because deaf people wanted to do typing. The
Great.
Siri which we use. So, a lot of disability actually leads to innovations.
Innovations, correct.
So, for example, you would have seen the five, there is always a tinge on the five button in your ATM remote. And
Mm.
you would have wondered that why there is a dot in the five button. That is a universal access guideline, so that any blind user or a senior citizen can figure out other buttons. Similarly,
Wow.
on your computer,
Uh,
if anyone knows, you would have seen that there is a
correct.
hinge on the F and the J key. And why
Correct.
there is a hinge is because people with blindness can use the keyboard. Just small trivia which people might not be
Correct.
aware about. Yeah.
Correct. 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 And for driving, so for cycling, how do you, which all softwares do you use? Like,
Cycling and running,
mm,
I told you, like, cycling is pretty much it's a two-seater cycle. So I
mm,
pedal,
mm.
and the sighted guide who is, and the captain whom you can call, is in the front. So he takes
Okay.
care
Okay.
of the
Okay.
sight while both of
Okay.
us pedal.
Okay.
And similarly, in
Okay.
running, it's about
Ah.
taking some assisted guide from
Mm,
the partner.
mm. Okay. Great. Actually, so we have limited time and you also have another meeting. So, one last question. What is it that you would like to tell all of us?
So first, I think treat everyone as equal.
Mm,
Treat everyone as your friend, as anyone
mm,
how you treat others. So treat the
mm,
other as your brother, irrespective of
mm,
disability. That is the first thing. And the second thing is, as I told you, it came from my experience of running.
mm,
When
mm,
you run at high altitude, you see that breathing is the most important aspect, and
mm,
rest all does not matter. So I'm
mm,
coming back to that, that please be in gratitude in that every moment, by being grateful that you are alive and you are breathing every moment. That will
mm,
help you to stay grounded, and
mm.
always think of all others as extras, as I think so. And that is something which helped me reflect back and feel in gratitude at every moment. A lot of times when I
Mm,
feel, let's say, sad, or not,
mm,
things are not going my way,
mm,
as
mm.
so that is one thing which helped me keep grounded and just be grateful to things which I have, rather than focusing on things which I don't have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vineet, for coming to the session. It was really enlightening and looking forward to see you achieve a lot of dreams and contribute a lot in the society and making a huge difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gayatri. It was a joy interacting with your viewers as well as you. And thank you. I think you already are making such a difference in people's life by the work which you are doing. So thank you.
Thank
I
you.
keep on reading it. So thank you.
Thank you. So I'm ending this session.